You're probably watching this video now because you want to be close to Boulder, or at least in Boulder County. Well, today we're going to be covering one of the best cities with the lowest costs in Boulder County.
All right, let's go. If this is your first time watching, we are your Colorado real estate family, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney. What we like to do on this channel is cover Denver and all of its surrounding cities, giving you all that boots on the ground expert advice if you are planning on relocating into this beautiful state.
Yes, and as much as we love making these videos for you, we love even more so helping with your real estate needs. So we're going to put our phone number down below. Feel free to call or text us anytime.
Obviously, Boulder is that city that so many people want to relocate into, but there's one thing about Boulder, and it's that it's super expensive in comparison to a lot of these other cities that are in Boulder County. So when you have a city like Longmont, Colorado, what they see is, hey, guess what? I can still be in Boulder County, but not incorporate those costs of living in Boulder County, which actually, if you guys stick out till around the middle of this video, we're going to go over how the cost of living in Boulder, more so on the real estate side, has gone down over the last year, which is crazy because all we've seen lately is that it's been going up. So let's go ahead and talk about Longmont, Colorado. One big thing about Longmont, it's becoming popular, and it's showing so with the growth that's happening. It's growing 1.24% annually year over year recently.
So if you're looking at that number, you're probably wondering, okay, well, what is Colorado doing? So Colorado in 2021 was a 0.46% increase, 2022, 0.49. So a 1.24 in Longmont is showing that people are choosing the city. The other thing too is, how big is Boulder compared to Longmont? So Boulder has a population in 2023 of 111,000, almost 112,000. And Longmont, because of its growth, is now coming in at 103,000. So it's actually not that much smaller, where Longmont used to be significantly smaller than Boulder.
Now I'm gonna throw a quick note out there because there's so many times that we have locals live in Longmont. Like, don't be comparing us to Boulder. We're not Boulder. I mean, sorry guys, you still are. The majority of your city is in Boulder County. Longmont is also in Weld County, but the majority of your property, your downtown area of Longmont, is in Boulder County, and so that's why we're constantly comparing this, because from our experience when we're working with so many people who are relocating into Boulder or into Longmont, they're doing it because they're like, you know what, I don't want to pay for the prices in Boulder. I still want to be involved with what Boulder has going on in their county, so I'm choosing Longmont. Or there's a few other cities they choose, but Longmont seems to be the one that they really like to go to.
Yeah, so that kind of takes us into the second thing that we like to look at with Longmont, and that is the fact that it is still Boulder County, which is why it made the list of the best city. So why? Why do people choose Boulder County? Well, number one, the schools. Now, before you get going, because people are going to say, we are
going to get those darts right now about this.
Yeah, before we get going, let's talk about that a little bit. So even though Longmont is in Boulder County, it is not technically part of Boulder Valley, right?
Boulder Valley School District,
Boulder Valley School District.
Yeah.
But Boulder Valley School District is one of the best school districts here in Colorado, rated an A according to niche.com.
Yep.
Well, if you go over to Longmont, which is now the St. Vrain Valley, both valleys, I was trying to cut it out earlier.
It's all, you're always trying to remember, you're like Boulder Valley,
all of
there's
them.
some that's like Poudre Valley up in here, and we're like, well, all these valleys.
I think Poudre's the one without the valley. Anyways.
I don't know. No, I think it is Poudre Valley School District.
Okay. St. Vrain Valley is also rated an A-. So if you're looking for good schools, and that's the reason you're choosing Boulder County, you are still going to find that in Longmont, even though it's not the same school district.
And St. Vrain Valley actually goes into two different counties. You have it over in Boulder County, but then also expands over into Weld County. So you're going to go over near Carbon Valley when we're talking about those other cities, when we're talking about Firestone, Frederick, and Dacono. So it stretches out that far, but the majority of your St. Vrain Valley School District is in the heart of Longmont.
The other reason people typically choose Boulder County is because of its progressive views. Well, I will say that Longmont, even though it is still majority progressive, it's a little bit tamed down, so it's a little bit more of a mix there, but you are going to be able to still have some of those similar views.
Yeah, if you ever watch any of our other Boulder videos, we always talk about this Boulder bubble, right? And so a lot of that's incorporated that is Boulder is super progressive, and it's almost super in-your-face progressive, where Longmont, they do still have kind of this similar progressive views, but it's not as in-your-face.
Okay, the big thing that you probably were most interested in when you're clicking on this video is a city that's affordable in Boulder County. We've been talking time and time again about how a lot of people are choosing these outside cities. But a lot of the times we're seeing these prices start to meet Boulder because of the demand of these cities outside of Boulder. So let's talk a little bit about cost of living. Overall, Boulder is 167. Again, national average is 100, okay? Colorado's 120, Boulder's 167. Longmont is 120, so significantly lower overall. The couple things that go into that score and the cost of living, actually, one thing I thought was really interesting is we talk about how groceries doesn't really change very much from one city to another unless you start getting into the mountains. But we're looking at groceries from Boulder to Longmont. Boulder is 106.5, whereas Longmont is 101, which is actually the biggest jump that we've seen in groceries. And that I do believe is because of its progressive ways in Boulder. It's very natural. There's no big chain like Walmart, things like that.
They used to have Walmart and then they booted it out because Boulder just didn't really want to have a Walmart in Boulder. And so, I mean, when you have a cheaper option like Walmart or those larger box stores, Boulder really doesn't like that. They prefer like your Whole Foods or Natural Grocers, something similar to that.
Right, so this is the biggest jump that we've seen in the grocery department, which I thought was worth bringing up. The other thing is obviously housing. So if you've stick around just a little bit longer. Peter's going to be diving into this housing thing, which again is kind of the big eye-opener of why Longmont shines in comparison to these other cities. And then if you look at transportation, Boulder's going to be at 95.2, whereas Longmont is at 92. So again, a little cheaper in Longmont for transportation, which is interesting to me because they do have bus stations and some of the other things in Boulder. And Longmont being significantly further north, you would think that that would be an increase, but it's actually not.
Well, I mean, public transit is only a small part, so another big portion of that might be in your auto insurance. And so with auto insurance, you probably have a little bit more accidents in Boulder because it is more congested as opposed to a Longmont. So your insurance might be a little bit cheaper. You don't have to worry about it as much as you would in Boulder.
The other thing too is we have a little bit more snow closer to the mountains, and so Boulder probably gets hit a little bit more than say Longmont.
It's that time that we're going to go ahead and break into the real estate in Boulder and in Longmont. But before we do that, guys, why don't you guys do us a favor? If this is a bunch of content that you are loving, why don't you give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you're notified every single time that we put out a brand new video. When we're breaking down the numbers in regards to the real estate in both of these cities, so Boulder, Colorado, it's actually been going down a lot lately, guys. We almost hit $1 million median sales price this time last year just because of how hot the market. Well, how much has it gone down? Now it's at $799,000 median sales price as of January of 2023, which is crazy because we just did a video a couple weeks on Golden. Golden surpassed Boulder. That is unheard of. Boulder was always the king of the crop. It was always the highest priced houses up there, and it's going down. Now, if we're looking at Longmont, the reason that we're saying it's an affordable option to Boulder, being in Boulder County, you're looking at a median sales price of $575. Now, we're going to kind of have a bonus in there. We're going to add a few other cities that are in Boulder County, just to kind of give you an idea why this might be the best option if you are looking for housing prices in Boulder County. Let's look at Louisville, Colorado. Louisville, Colorado is actually a median sales price of $793,000 as of January of 2023. Dollars, I'm like spreading that.
That's crazy because that's right. I mean, we all know that Superior is a hot commodity when it comes to trying to be close to Boulder, but for it to be as expensive as Boulder.
Well, and then also like the Marshall Fire, I feel like drove a lot of people away from Superior and Louisville because that's where the heart of the fire was at.
Right.
But it's not showing that when in regards to the real estate. The real estate's kind of, I mean, right now it's kind of like doing this, right? Interest rates are having a huge effect on our market, but we are still seeing some markets where the price points are going up a little bit. So in Louisville, though, here's the thing about Louisville is people want that small town feel, but still being in Boulder County, this is the closest option for that. Longmont is a lot further than Louisville is, and so that's why Louisville is becoming such a hot commodity in regards to where people are moving into. Now let's go and go a little bit further past Louisville. You're talking about Lafayette, Colorado. Being a little bit further from Boulder will definitely pay on those real estate prices. You look at a median sales price in Lafayette, Colorado of $608,000 as of January of 2023. Now let's go a little bit closer over into Superior. And Superior is a lot newer, right? They're putting a brand new downtown in there. Most of the housing developments that were built in there were built in the 90s and the early 2000s. It doesn't have the character as a few of these other cities that we're talking about, so it's a lot newer, but still it's up there a little bit. You're looking at a median sales price of $630,000, which still, I thought because of the housing that is up there, you have a lot of larger homes, a lot more affluent areas. I thought it'd be a little bit higher than Louisville, but the numbers don't show us that.
Which is funny because Superior has always been known to have those foothill kind of, housing around there. And so a lot of people really like that, to feel like they have some hills, whereas Lafayette is like pretty flat. So, well,
another thing that might contribute to that, because these numbers that I'm throwing out to you guys right now is your single family and also your attached, your condos and townhouses. Superior is adding so many more of those products, having that downtown area. That might be bringing that number down a little bit, where Louisville A lot of it
not
is
have
single
all of that.
family. They do still have a little bit of your condo, townhouse style housing there, but nowhere near what Superior's kind of put into place.
Now we do project that Lafayette will be getting that. I think we are going to start seeing some scrapes and some, tear downs and stuff around downtown Lafayette, but it's just not there yet.
Nope, not yet.
So I told you when it comes to housing, obviously Longmont is shining and compared to some of these other surrounding cities in Boulder County. And we look at that on the national average scale. What do those numbers come out to? Boulder is sitting at 319, whereas Longmont is 172. So significantly different, which is probably the biggest difference between Longmont and Boulder in the Boulder County is looking at its housing costs.
Yep.
Let's talk about an obvious one of why people might choose Longmont over Boulder or some of the surrounding cities. Boulder specifically,
Yep.
we're comparing this whole, Pearl Street, kind of college town, all of that, to Longmont's little downtown and things like that.
Longmont has your little like nostalgic, downtown where it's like has the character. You have all kinds of cool little mom and pop restaurants up in there. It's got that hallmark effect that I always talk about. Whereas Boulder, it's a little bit more urban, right? They do have the taller buildings in there. It's a lot newer. It doesn't have the characteristics that downtown Longmont does. And that's why so many times that when we compare Longmont to Boulder, everyone who lives in Longmont, they're like, don't compare us to Boulder. We're completely different.
Yeah.
We're a lot more about community. Yes, Boulder does have community, but it's not as community as Longmont does. And so that's one of the biggest differences when we're talking about Boulder and Longmont's downtowns.
Yeah, as far as the people go, you still have all of our outdoor enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big biking community. We still have a lot of active people depending anywhere in Boulder County. You're going to see people who are kind of trying to get into this outdoorsy culture. And that is something that Longmont people still have, but it is a little bit more uppity in Boulder. You're going to start seeing kind of that more, how do I describe it?
The bouginess.
A little bougie.
Yeah, they have like the bougie shops and all that stuff. They have the restaurants that are, a little bit more high end. Whereas like Longmont, it's just, it's like I said, it's more the mom and pop.
chill.
They have a lot of like, we always talk about your different diets that you have out there and stuff. They have a lot of great restaurants in that they do accommodate to those different, whether they be vegan, keto, what other ones help me out here, gluten free. So they're accommodating. I'm not saying that Boulder isn't, but you have some specialty restaurants that are in downtown Longmont that really do pride themselves in making those different kinds of diets.
Yeah, the other thing too is even being locals, like we love going to downtown Longmont. We might not make the trip all the way into Boulder because of all of the traffic and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Longmont, yes, it's a little bit off the highway, but it's just a little bit more relaxing. Like for us, it's a great date night.
Yep.
Whereas going to Boulder kind of stresses us out because it's like entering kind of that city life, even though it's way smaller than our other cities like Denver or Fort Collins or Colorado Springs.
Yep.
It just feels a little bit more dense.
Yep.
Okay, we've given you 5 different topics to kind of look at as why Longmont is hitting the scale for the best city with the lowest prices in this Boulder County area. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, comment down below, whatever you need, we do these videos for you.
And of course, guys, we're going to have a phone number below. One more time, give us a call or text. Doesn't matter date or time. We're there to answer them all. And until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Rated an A and crap, I don't know where I was
According to
talking
News.com.
about that. Okay, ready?
There's one big thing about Boulder, and that's what did you say? That's that it is.
Rated an A, or I guess it's A minus.
No, it's A.
Shit.
It's no. The other one's A minus.
Okay, ready?